final video series in our advanced tour of WeVideo. So hope you have found these videos helpful and using some different techniques to even make more exciting and fun projects for your students and so forth. So in this video, I really want to talk about some ways you can administer group projects on WeVideo, which is a wonderful thing, and even I'll share out some examples of some of my students' projects and some of their sample work. I'll also post links later for you. So let's get started. So one of the nicest things about using WeVideo is that this can actually be a collaborative project on a video editor, which is awesome since it's browser-based. So here with this, you can create group projects and students can work together in a team to create a video, and they can all edit the video, but they cannot edit the video at the same time. So if one member of the group is on the editor, manipulating the timeline and so forth, other members of the group cannot get access to it. They're actually locked out, and it will actually show you that you're locked out. All right. So that's the only issue. But as you can imagine, it would be very challenging to have multiple people working on the same timeline, adding clips and moving images and audio around at the same time. It would get way too confusing. So I think that certainly makes sense of why it's limited in that respect. But students can all collaborate and upload media and then certainly take turns on the editor. Students can work from home on the project if they want to, and they can take turns working on the project from different locations. I think that's absolutely awesome. Okay, so that's really great. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to create a new project, okay? And let me get out of here. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Let me go to projects. I'm going to create a brand new project, okay? And I can also create a new folder here, but we'll talk about that later. So create a brand new project, and let's just call it group test. And I can name it a description of it. Now, with this said and done, this is where you would focus on making a collaborative project. These are individual projects, but the media that's shared is available to everyone. So say if you're creating a project where you want certain elements in it and certain images or certain audio, and everybody had access to the same media, but they would be individual projects. But this is the collaborative one where they can edit from anywhere they want and they can share the project media. Is pretty neat. So I'm going to click collaborative, okay? All right, and now what you can do is you have some kind of neat features here. You could have an invite link that only members with this access to the link can join the project, which is really kind of cool. You can share that out in a Google Doc or through an email, or the case may be. Or you can have members select who's in the group. So if I do this and I go next, it will go through all the members that are available in the group. Now, what I've noticed with my students, they can see everybody who has a WeVideo account in our school, so they can kind of select through those names. They can search names. You know, right here you can have like my groups that I've created for different teachers and so forth, things like that. So you can create student groups yourself if you really wanted to, or all groups. So you have some ways you can kind of select who's in it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's how you actually create it. So let me kind of get out of there. So that's how that actually works. Now, if someone shares a project with you, it's just like a Google Doc where it will be shared with me. So I have a shared with me, and students have shared me on a bunch of their different projects. So I can go into the project and I can edit it and I can see what's going on. As a lead teacher, though, you have the ability to go into any project for any student. So you can go through all your students. You can go into their projects and help them if you need to. They really don't need to share it back to you. But again, if someone was actually, this was from a student view, this is where you would see the projects that are shared with me. Okay, so that's, I think, really important. Okay, so I think that's fun to actually kind of see that. All right. Another thing to keep in mind is media. And you can have my media, but you can also have a project media. All right, you can make a new folder, and you can make it that project media, that everybody in the group has that media. Okay, so shared with me. This is everybody in the Clarence group has this with me. Obviously, that's very large, right? But I have my media that's only personal to me. So with group projects, it's important that the group can upload media to the project collaboratively. So now I'm back in the video editor, and this is a shared project. And now you can kind of see that I have my media. This is me that I always have with me. Maybe it's a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. These are the media that I always have, right? That's just in my account. I have shared media. There's nobody in our organization. So it'd be the whole entire school. No one's done that. But this is just the project media. Okay, so I made a, this project for this particular video. And what I can do now is I can just take some of my clips and I can add them to my project media, which is important because now this means that if another individual of the group, right, logs on to our project, they'll find the exact same media in the project media folder. If they log into this, they will not see this media. This is only media that I have access to. So any media that you're using for a group project really has to be in the project media folder, which means that everybody will have access to it, everybody can manipulate it, and everybody can, add it to the timeline. All right, so I think that's important. So I can do on this clip, I can go share to project. If I do that, your media is now in the project folder. So if I go to project media, see, there's that clip. So it's really easy. You can easily just transfer anything you want from your media. I can also drag it over as well. And you can kind of do that. But usually I find you just do the right click, share to project, and press done, and then go to my project media. Now I have all that. So that's important to keep that in mind. Remember, project media, everybody in the group can see the media and manipulate it. My media, only you can manipulate it. This is shared throughout the whole entire organization. Okay, so just keep that in mind so you know where you're sharing your media for group projects. Okay, so that's really the essence of how you actually administer and start a group project on WeVideo. Now, I also want to share you some of the examples that I've done with my students. I always start off with some simple things and we move into more of a group project as well. So this was just a simple assignment of taking historical newspapers. So make this a little bit bigger for you guys. They had to find one newspaper article from a historical database, and we practiced on how to find those particular newspaper articles. We had to save them as a PDF to a Google Drive. But then I actually showed them how to make screenshots, especially on a Chromebook. So these are all videos that I made how to make screenshots. These are some screenshot apps that I found very useful on a Chromebook. And then they just had to make a really brief WeVideo where they made a dramatic interpretation of a newspaper article. And I told them what I wanted in that video. I wanted a title sequence. I wanted some screenshots of the article. I wanted them to really focus on how do you pan and zoom on a newspaper article that looks old, because that's a really common thing you see in historical documentaries. They take old newspaper clips and they'll zoom in on them or pan up and down the headlines, right? I wanted some voiceovers, I wanted some music or sound effects, and I wanted related images, and I wanted them to add their transitions at the end. So that was just a really kind of a simple assignment. The videos were only probably about a minute long, but it was a good practice. Another project that we worked on was making either a commercial or a movie trailer. And we looked at we found different sources, and we kind of tried to interpret those sources dramatically through making a commercial movie or a movie trailer. And this year I had a lot of screenshots on how to make motion titles and how to do static titles and how to upload media. So these are all just kind of review stuff for them and how to get their music in there. So I had all these screenshots, and I had these tips for how to make a commercial or a movie trailer. So these are a little bit longer, maybe about 3 or 4 minutes. And I also included files that I made, videos that I made, to help them with the project. Okay. The unit history was a little bit more involved. This was actually a group project. For my students, they take a course with me called American Military History. And one way we get them involved is they take on the identity of a real military unit in history. And as a group, they research that unit's history. If it goes back to the Revolution or the War of 1812, or has some go all the way to present. And they create about a 5-minute video where they kind of detail the history of their unit. So this was all kind of facilitated through Schoology. They had to pick their unit, and here's how you found different units in the military. Then they had to create a Google Drive folder, and they had to share with me and everybody in the group. And this became the main place to kind of dump all their stuff, images and files and folders. That was a really important part of a WeVideo group project, was actually really getting your media and getting everything together on Google Drive first. and then uploading what you wanted to WeVideo. So here's all their different Google Drives that were shared with me, and I can kind of like go into them and look at what they had in here, and I can kind of see all their different images they had and their research, and it was all here, and I could help them. I could even add stuff to them if I really wanted to. Here was their script and everything. They put it all in one nice Google Drive. It was really easy to kind of access. Okay, so we talked about how to do all that, how to create a little storyboard. And then this is a really big important tip. You must save your images as files in your Drive folder. Oftentimes students will find an image and they'll just paste it on a Google Doc, and then they kind of forget about it. So you have to actually save images as files. So that was a fun project. And then we had another one. This was the one we just did, which was a World War I news broadcast presentation. I had the kind of goals for the projects. I wanted them to, look at these pages in history. I wanted them to isolate the main ideas, take screenshots. They had to use animated graphics. This was all the advanced stuff. They had to use lower third motion titles. They had to do panning, zooming, and overlays on text. I wanted music. I wanted transitions. And we even added end credits, and we even added, this was a requirement because we got it to work, the green screen. So I'm going to share some of their videos with you guys as well. I had them include historical video footage. I showed them how to take screenshots. And these are some of the advanced videos that I included that we're actually using here. So this was a lot of fun for that project, okay? So I'll share these projects out with you, and I'll also share some links to some example videos, and I hope this makes sense. So good luck, and let me know if you ever need anything. Take care. Bye-bye.